We've got a cold front moving in. Supposedly we're supposed to get snow tomorrow morning. The locals say that you can tell what weather we're going to have by what kind of hat the mountain is wearing. The squash are all finished now. What's on the ground is just going to go to rot and seed. And we've got one tiny little, oh now I forget what they're called again, kohlrabi left. We can give that one a few more days. One cauliflower just about ready to pick. I think I'm going to cut them today anyways because we've got a few more starting. I thought these were cabbages, but they're looking a little strange. I'm not sure really what's going on there. It looks like they got some kind of infestation. Broccoli shoots up quite a bit here, and you can selectively harvest little bits and pieces of it here and there, and new ones keep coming up. You see them down in there. So they'll give me a steady supply over the next month or so. Last summer I cut the fennel off by the roots, or just above the roots, and left the clump in there. I didn't know that they're actually a perennial and would come up again, and I have little baby Brussels sprouts happening here. The red cabbage is languishing. I think that was my mistake. I had onions planted here back in the summer, and apparently they're not companion vegetables. Overall, the garden is not doing very good. I think our groundskeeper did not give it enough water in September and October while we were gone. Another little cluster of Brussels sprouts here. We've gathered up all the leaf debris from the olive harvest and we're wringing it around the compost pile. What I'm doing is digging out last summer's compost and putting it over top of the leaves to help it rot down a little faster. And then we'll add stuff from the black compost bins to it later on. And hopefully by spring we should have a good pile of compost to go on the garden. I'm cutting some of the broccoli for tonight. And I'm looking through and I just realized that this guy here is what they call the Romanesque. They're very interesting broccoli. They grow up in a spiral. He also looks like he's got a little bit of some kind of infection. I'm going to wash him off with some soapy water and hope he does well. I decided to harvest the cauliflower anyways because he also looks like he's getting a little bit of infection before it gets too bad, and might as well. It's ready to eat. It's just small. The almonds are starting to make buds. I think in about 2 or 3 weeks we should start getting some blossoms. They typically flower about mid-February. This yucca was in full bloom when we got home back in November, and it pretty well finished a week or so later. But this yucca started to bud out around the same time, and looks like it's about 2 or 3 days away from flowering. Some of them are opening up already, but different location on the property, this plant gets a lot more sunlight. And we got a bucket full of cat. I have some of the little baby potatoes started in here. I'm not sure how they're going to do, and some little radishes starting here. Problem in the sunroom is that these windows are tinted, so they're not letting enough UV light in. This is just out our kitchen door. I use the parsley basically as a border and to keep the weeds down, but it grows so prolifically that anytime I need parsley I can just come out and snip a bunch. Most of the clouds are to the south and east of us, so there's a nice beam of sunlight highlighting the rocks and cliff formations across the valley. And the cat's back in the bucket again. I don't know what that's all about, but if it makes him happy.